And then thing about that is, the reputation. That guy sold me a truck knowing that and that truck was fucked up.
Right.
And I made a pact to myself that I would never do that.
Right.
To anyone.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just not fair, man.
Yeah.
Real business owner.
Whatever your situation is currently is not your forever situation.
That's really what real business owners is, man. Like, we don't care where you come from, where are you going?
Our goal and our job is to reduce the mistakes that you have to make or the money that you have to lose.
You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be successful, don't give up.
You learn, adjust, and continue to move forward.
What's up, all you real business owners? Welcome back to another Real Business Owners podcast, episode 128. You got the crew, me and Trevor. Say what up, Trevor.
What's up, Trevor?
We also got gang. We also got a special guest for you guys. This is Justin, pretty boy, Schoener.
What's up?
He's our homie from Apex, as well as he's just a badass in business. We wanted to have him on, you guys, because he's built an amazing brand in his community. Even just what he was showing me on the videos before we jumped on, man, I can tell from what we talked about when I saw in your video, like you've really built this thing on your reputation, and reputation is like the thing that everybody should be striving for in business. And I just think you've done a really good job of that. And so I think it's gonna be a great conversation today. But welcome.
Oh yeah, man! I'm looking forward to this.
How long you been in business? Because we're talking about reputation, and unfortunately, those things take a little bit of time to build. It's not like somebody comes out of the gate month one, they've got a great reputation. It's reputation usually comes from word of mouth, right? Like, and being involved in your community over a long period of time. So
I've been doing this for 22 years. I've been building trucks.
Okay.
Started off my parents' garage, man.
Yeah. I love those type of stories.
Rent free, baby.
Rent free. There it is.
100%.
3 years of rent free.
Yeah. So
all the best businesses are started in garages, man.
Yeah.
Started in somebody's
Amazon,
basement,
Outlaw,
garages, something
Outlaw,
like
Texas.
that. Yep.
There it is.
Is that what's the name of your company so everybody gets familiar with it as well?
Outlaw Offroad of Texas.
And you specialize in everything off-road in terms of trucks, putting lift, tires,
wheels,
suspensions,
performance, shocks, accessories.
Make it go fast.
100%, 110%, man.
So why did you get into it? Is it you always been a dude that's just been good with your hands and you've been tinkering with shit and then it just kind of morphed from a hobby to a business, or
it did, but it goes a little deeper than that, man. I got a cool little story.
Yeah.
When I was 15, I bought my first truck for $1,500. So I got an 80 Chevrolet, had a 4-inch lift on it. I was asking my dad, I was like, how do we find out?
You were trying to get a panty dropper with a big lift.
Exactly.
When 16.
Hell yeah, dude. I knew exactly what I wanted. I had all those off-road magazines stacked up in my house, And so I bought a black truck, 84 Chevy, or 80 Chevrolet, long bed. And I was asking my dad how we find out gear ratios, because gears compensate for tire size to help make the truck run 100%. So we checked it out, read the magazine, how to figure out what gear ratio it had.
Adjustments, yeah.
Right. And just to figure out what it had in it if we needed to make those adjustments.
Gotcha.
Found out they weren't matching front and rear. The front had 308s, the rear had 373s. Had I put it in four-wheel drive, that transfer case and transmission would have exploded on me. As a 15-year-old kid, that wouldn't have been cool. So we had to strip the whole truck down, and I had to find used axles to put together and make this truck 110% drivable where I could put it in four-wheel drive if I was so chose to. So my dad was a general mechanic, knew the basics, but I really got into that when we had to pull the lift kit off and all that. And then after that, I just started
falling in love with it
and fucking my own shit up, man.
Yeah.
How many generations of gearheads are your family, bro?
Does it
go back a while?
It just started with my dad, but the hustling goes back with my grandparents and stuff like that, My grandfather, he would, in his hobby, he would rebuild lawnmowers and bikes, and behind my garage sales, rebuild them and sell them.
Yeah.
And so that's where I got that hustle nature from, and I've been hustling, baseball cards and stuff since I was 11, 12 years old.
Isn't that funny? He had a problem, and he fixed his problem.
Yeah.
And then eventually it turned into a business.
Yeah, fixing other people's problems.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
building other people's desires.
Yeah, exactly. Like you had a problem, you knew if you put it in four-wheel drive, it'd blow the thing into pieces, right?
Right.
And so you're like, let's tear it apart, let's fix it. And here you are, 22 years later, running a business. Had you not bought that truck and maybe dug into it and did that and tinkered with your hands, you wouldn't have maybe got to 22 years in business.
100%.
Right? And so
You know, and then think about that is, you know, the reputation. You know, that guy sold me a truck knowing that that truck was fucked up.
Right.
And I made a pact to myself that I would never do that.
Right.
You know, to anyone.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just not fair, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Especially a 15-year-old kid. Some kid just bought Kale's old F250 or 350 or something like that because he, you know,
The old
upgraded.
06, bro.
06.
6.0.
Yeah.
That's the hunting truck. It
Yeah.
was the hunting or camping truck that would pull the trailer up, you know, up the hills. But some kid came and was talking to him. Cal had it for whatever, 15 grand, and the kid, I was like, man, I like this kid. So it just gives him a discount and like actually hooks him up, and that's what you should be doing when kids are
Well,
out there.
I put my ad too. I'm
You
like,
know?
this is the 06 6.0. They're known for having problems.
6-point blow.
Yeah,
That's what I
we
call
call
it.
it 6-point blow.
Because they blow up.
Yeah.
I said I haven't had any problems with it. The guy that owned it before me, he did the chipping, the tuning, the new
Bulletproofing.
yeah, they did the bulletproofing. This one needed new injectors. I guess the old injectors were too small. And they were getting gunked up, like as far as the pathway. I don't know all the gear talk, bro. But like,
I didn't do the maintenance on it.
just bought it that way.
I bet you didn't do the maintenance on it. Is what the problem was.
Not me. I never had a problem with
Oh.
it. I just kept. I took
He never
it
had
in.
a problem.
Oh,
with
that's right. That's right.
maintenance
The guy
'cause he didn't do
before
it.
you. My bad.
He bulletproofed it. So
Okay.
but I sold it that way. I was like, man, this thing's
It is what it is.
bulletproofed. You know, I haven't had any problems with it, but
But
know,
he
it is
once
the
you give him like
6.0,
a couple
right?
grand discount or something because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just a hardworking kid, really wanted a truck,
Yeah.
you know, and you over there, somebody's like, this idiot kid.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
going to sell him a truck that's about to blow to shit.
Right.
You know,
If I
but
put it in 4-wheel drive, it would have.
yeah, but
You still had a lot of fun in that thing, though.
100%,
You got your
man.
money's worth eventually.
100%.
a few pennies dropped in. You
Yeah.
got to your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It all started, man. That truck
And
started.
then that's where the addiction for trucks came in. He's like,
Exactly.
oh, this is like a fishing bait. It's a lure. You
Exactly.
know, nice and shiny and it's big. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna go ahead and build these
And I was-
even bigger, shinier, cooler.
Exactly. And it's led to, I've owned over 150 trucks personally now since then,
Wow.
over the years. So it's been a wild ride. And always flipping them too, man, making money on them. And
Yeah. So I mean, 22 years in business doesn't come without a lot of struggle, without a lot
100%.
of pain, without a lot of hurt. You know, like so. How many times in business over 22 years did you feel like that you were at the brink, like almost ready to quit and give up, or the business almost had to fold? Like, how many hurdles did you have to overcome mentally, emotionally, maybe even financially to keep a business in business for a 22-year period? Because that's a long time, and there's a lot of things happening external in the world, personally, and some things that you can't necessarily control, right? So I can't imagine that it was just 22 years of
Hell no.
awesomeness and everything's a breeze. You're cashing checks, no problems at all, right? So let's talk about, you know, how many
journey.
times,
The
how
journey.
many times you've doubted yourself, how many times you wanted to quit and give up and continued to push forward.
You know, I have a quick little story I'd like to share. So I was in a small rental shop. This is probably my biggest hurdle I ever overcame. I was in a small rental shop, you know, industrial bays, and someone approached me with a shop he shut down on a secondary thoroughfare. And he goes, hey, what are you going to do? Do you want to move into my old shop? I said, sure. So he built me a lease, looked it over, and the rent was cheap. It was like $800 a month. I did my due diligence, what I thought was due diligence in 2007, being still a newer businessman.
Yeah.
And everything was cool for like 3 months. You know, I was paying my rent to this individual, and shop was on, and I had a billboard and all kinds of cool stuff. You know, actually had some street cars.
Yeah, you thought you were the real deal at
Right,
that point.
100%.
Like, now I'm starting to make moves, right?
100%.
Feeling good about yourself.
An elderly gentleman came in one day and asked where this individual was. I said, you know, I don't know, but howdy, I'm Justin, man.
Yeah.
You know, what can I help you with? He goes, no, where is, and I'm just going to leave his
So-and-so.
name off
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
podcast, but,
Just be
you know,
yeah.
and just be respectful to him. And he goes, I own this fucking property and it's sold and you have 30 days to get off of here. Mind you, I had automotive lifts
Installed,
installed,
you know, all
trucks tore apart, had 30 days. And dude, we were backlogged for like 3 or 4 weeks. And it was a bad situation, man. It was horrible.
So what happened in that situation? How did you get out of it? Did the guy, he was harsh on his deadline, or did he work with you a little bit?
He worked with me a little bit, but they did have a closing on the land. And so the guy that I was renting from came in, and it was like a little a building in front of a metal building, and the metal building had all the automotive lifts and everything in it. And that building was owned by him, the guy that I was dealing with,
Yeah.
quote unquote. So he went and came in. This gets even wilder, bro. He came and tore the metal building down around my vehicles within that 30 days.
Wow.
And so I literally had electrical friends come over and set up power to shine lights so that I could finish these trucks at night. I shit you not, man. I had deadlines, bro.
Dude, he
dead
assembled the
serious.
building.
And so he tore the building down around me. And man,
so you've got trucks just sitting
You're
out
a
in the
concrete
open
pad
On
on,
the-
this
yeah.
other dude's land.
Yes.
on a
Wow.
lift
Yes.
out in the open that you're sitting there working on to try to meet the deadline that
the customer-
you told the customer.
Exactly.
That
Go
you would
rent
give
one of
them.
them like party tents.
no, I could have, I should have, man, but it wasn't a party, that's for
Think
sure.
back, huh?
You know, but you know, I was still doing this all hands on.
Yeah.
So you know, this was still me. I was still doing the sales up front, still doing the technical in the back.
Yeah.
You know, the business was just coasting; it wasn't growing.
Right.
You know,
That's because you didn't have enough support.
Yeah,
You're only
you were
one
doing it
person,
all.
right? You can only pump out so many vehicles. So
But,
until you multiply yourself, then
and then you know, a mentor or a good friend told me, he goes, "You'll never be able to grow that business if you don't get off your tools, bro." And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
That I had to get off my tools, but my man, I want perfection in a vehicle, and so I have to instill that in other people. And it was hard for me to let that go.
Well, you just have the mentality that nobody's going to care the way that I care about these vehicles. It's my name on it. This is
100%.
somebody that I know personally that hired me to produce this end result, and I don't think anybody's better than me, so I want to do it. And then it just makes it difficult for you to give up your name to somebody else to fulfill something that you promised, right?
100%. And you know, man, I treat everybody exactly like we need to be treated. You know,
Yeah.
like I want to be treated. And man, these people spend 5, 10, 15, 20 grand on these trucks with us. And man, everything is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I will stand behind my word, whatever it takes.
Even if you have to be
Strip-
out in the night,
Yep, out in the
with
night.
lights shining with no building anymore around you.
Right. So we were able to finish it off the building and take it all down and not finish off the trucks. So I moved into where I originally started, which was kind of ironic. And it was on an industrial bay, and I just was able to branch off of that. But here's where it gets even more ironic. And I know I showed you that groundbreaking video.
Yeah.
We'll put a link on that
Yeah,
at
that's
the
cool.
bottom.
It's a cool video.
And my new shop is Caddy Corner from where that shop was.
Oh wow.
Is it Caddy Corner or is it Kitty?
Caddy Corner.
Is it? Have I been fucking saying it this wrong this whole time? I've been
that's a
saying
Houston
Kitty
thing.
Corner this whole my
Kitty
entire
corner?
life.
Ki-
I was this
I
day
say
years
Kitty Corner
old
too.
for saying Kitty
They
Corner.
say kitty corner here in Utah.
It must be a Texas thing. We need to Google this
A
now.
Caddy Corner.
Caddy Corner. Or is it Cadillacs? I don't know.
dude. I don't know.
We got to get to the bottom of this.
We need you to Google
What
that.
does either
We need
one
you to-
mean?
Oh, you can't Google
What does
that?
either one mean? Kitty corner.
It just means sideways. Is that a name?
Yeah.
Well, I know, but like,
like kitty
why did
corner
they come
or
up with the word
caddy.
kitty for that or caddy?
Who knows, man?
We
I
got to
don't
figure
know.
But no, I can set
We'll
up
get
my.
to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we do. That's
Well,
that's
you
important.
know, I
so
know
I can.
this is a whole different side topic, but
Yeah.
you know, there's some listeners that probably know the
So
actual.
you get to go back memory lane all the time, man.
Yeah, I can look
Yeah.
at
You-
my front door, my shop, which I showed
is
you is
facing.
it's
Yeah.
facing.
I'm sure you
can
don't
look to
think
your
about it
right.
every day, but I'm sure you do have those
No,
reminiscing moments.
And I
where you're
thank
like,
God
"Damn."
every morning,
Yeah.
you know, for that, and I'm very
Keeps you
grateful.
grateful.
Yeah, it's a
100%.
beautiful
You
reminder.
know, that
Yeah.
building is still sitting there,
Yeah.
even though it's a daycare now and it's got wood frame and stuff. You know, talk about kitty. That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
but-
it's now Kitty
So-
Corner. It is Kitty
I mean,
Corner.
it could be. I mean,
Stop the caddy shit.
Yeah.
bro. You know?
yeah, there's no Cadillacs over there, bro.
If it's a Cadillac dealership, then it's Caddy
yeah,
Corner.
there you
No
go.
way. You know, so that's awesome, man.
That was probably my biggest hurdle, and that was 2007.
Right.
You know, 2008. Then of course the turn down of the housing, and but we're still busy, man. You know, I mean, we made it through.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
But how many times have you questioned just shut shop and tuck tail and run and because of some of the hurdles that let's be real. If business just came to us and sat in our lap, we can all do the business, but there's so many different aspects where it does get slow. The money starts slowing down, but if it was consistent, everybody would be able to be successful. In 22 years, there's got to be times where you're just like pinching pennies and struggling and maybe trying to get loans. I don't know. Maybe you handled your finances very, very well to where you were able to carry through some of those storms, but you've had to be through 2, 3, 4 storms over a 22-year period. And how do you mentally survive and financially survive those storms?
So I'll be honest with you, man. There wasn't another option. I wasn't willing to give up.
Right.
I built this name, this reputation, and whether it was regardless of all the haters or whatever, because there was a lot of off-road truck accessory shops that came and went in my time period.
Yeah.
And I never saw it as another option because it's all I ever knew coming out of college.
I would say that's why you have the reputation you have, right? Because you were all in the whole time, right? Like
10%.
I'm gonna be honest, I've had lingering thoughts when I first started my business, like maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should try and get a different sales job. Like I just went from $150,000 a year to $500 a week, and I got a family to feed. So that fear sets in, right? But it's like you're so committed to the end result. You're so committed to backing up what you say you're gonna do. You already had clients. You had to build these badass trucks for them. You know, it's like when you're all in. And you're all in on providing quality, that's obviously what gets you the reputation that you have. You know what I mean?
Yep. Then you're willing to endure whatever you need to endure to survive.
Right.
Right. You hunker down and weather the storm rather than trying to run from it. Right. And that's the mentality that it seems like that you have.
So my next hurdle, talk about hurdles.
Oh yeah.
I had a huge one. It happened right about, let's see, Arte. When was Arte St. Louis? October 19.
Was that 18 or 19?
That was 19.
We went to the live.
It was October 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6 months before that, I built a badass Duramax dually.
Yeah.
I'm talking the dude dumped $28,000 aftermarket stuff into this dually. Yeah. Unbelievable truck. Looked beautiful. 24-inch wheels, 37-inch tires, deleted, tuned, all that good fun stuff. And it had a vibration at it at 68 miles an hour that was not consistent. It would come and go. I'm talking it could go for days.
Yeah.
Or it would stay there
not
for,
be there
or not be there,
sometimes.
period. And it would all of a sudden come and go. And we stripped that truck down 10 times, bud. Stripped the whole suspension down, rebalanced tires, put new tires, new wheels. I mean, we just went through it all. Still could not fix it. I moved it from Victoria, Texas to Houston to San Antonio. No transmission shop could figure it out. No one could figure this whole damn truck out. Customer's cool. He didn't pay us in full yet. I ended up spending $5,000 and putting gears in it, which changed the ratios again, back to the original story of gear ratios. And it brought the RPM up. The truck liked it better. And ran smoother. But I turned the truck into the customer, and I said, hey, just drive it for a couple weeks. Tell me what you think, man.
Yeah.
And he called me back and says, the vibration's still there, but it's now at 73 miles an hour instead of 68 miles an hour. I said, what?
Keep it under 73 then, dude. But I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
but me, man, this ate me alive, man. This is probably my hardest struggle.
Yeah.
And it ate me alive, man. I started eating like shit. I started breaking out from stress. And it wasn't right. And I could not fix it. Yeah. And I could not let it go.
It just irked you to the core.
It irked me. And it physically, because it was so deep ingrained in me, man. I could not let that situation go. Right. Put on some weight and kept eating like shit. And then, I found out about Andy Frisella. And my buddy invited me to join him at Arte. And he goes, dude, when are you going to start 75 hard? And I was like, dude, I'm in a mental state where this truck is still in the back of my head, even though I had to let it go. Yeah. Never talk to the customer again. I just let it go and let that bill of $13,000 ride on my account like he owed me. But
yeah, you didn't feel right billing him out full amount.
100%.
If there was just that little glitch.
Right.
And it's not like he's going to be going 73 miles an hour everywhere he goes.
But it's still embarrassing. We weren't able to do it right.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not like it was constant every single day, because he's probably not going those speeds maybe every single day, but you still did right by him to make sure that you're not billing him full amount for something that you don't feel good about, right? So, and I'll tell you this much, 99.999999% of shops would have billed out that other $13,000.
100%.
Guaranteed. Yeah. Guaranteed.
And so that mentally screwed with me. And then when I got back after seeing Andy speak, was absolute fire in my face, man. Yeah. Jesse Edsler was there. Andy spoke. Ed spoke. Milet. And Jed goes,
who's that?
Who's Ed Milet?
Nah, I just can't.
And so Jed goes, hey, when you start 75 hard? Yeah. And I was like, he goes like, not tomorrow, bro. I was like, whoa. I said, I'll start it, but let me figure out my meal plan and shit. Yeah. So it took me, I finished 75 hard. It took me 9 times. I failed on day 65, my first round.
Fuck that.
For the picture.
That'd be painful.
Oh, it was for the picture. Yeah. But it wasn't until after COVID and everything. It took me 9 times over a year and a half, but I finally finished that bitch this past April. So,
nice,
yeah.
Good for you.
But no, I'm in a much better mental state after that.
Yeah.
That helped me build just confidence and just letting things go, working out every day, twice a day. Yeah. That saved me, man. I'll be honest with you, man.
Right. Well, it's hard to be stressed when you're exerting yourself the way that you are multiple times a day. So if there's something built up, it's going to get released within one of those 2 workouts that you do. You know, like a lot of people say, if you want a state change, go for a walk. You know, we've even done a presentation for a master's class, and we talk about burnout, and we show a diagram of the brain that's under stress, and then 10 minutes later after a walk. And it's completely different. So literally walking can just change your state. And you're talking about being stressed out and maybe sitting at home eating, you know, and thinking about this one thing that you couldn't control because it sounds like you exhausted all the options you could, shipping it around to anybody and everybody that would look at it to see if you could address it. But at the end of the day, you had this built up frustration. You had this built up, you know, whatever it was about that situation that you couldn't fix. And so you get out there, you work you work your frustrations out. I don't think people utilize exercise enough people that are in stressful situations. Yep. Mm-hmm. Like I know for a fact, you know, if it wasn't for exercising and move my body, I'd probably would have lost my mind, you know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
And so, you know, it's crazy. You talk about this walking and mind clarity.
Yeah.
My first round of 75 hard, I live on the river in South Texas, and I had a river house, and I said, dude, why am I going to like have parties at this house? And I was like, man, why should I invite all these people and like damage this house? I said, why not try to figure out how to make money? And that's when the Airbnb short-term rental thing popped in my head at the end of my 75 hard in 2019. And I moved forward with it, and now I'm branching into short-term rentals and Airbnb, all because of 75 hard, dude. It helped get me my mind focus, clarity. You know, it helped me get my business 100% better with the off-road, and then now branching out and doing other things. And
that's a beautiful thing, man. When you care about quality that much that it's literally making you ill, you know, as shitty as it is what you went through, like, get the positive of that, bro. Like, you care so much that when you did find your way through that, it's like, now your business at a new level. Now you're investing. Now you're like getting your baby that's been feeding you all these years to now feed these investments, which is going to feed your legacy now too, right? And it's like, dude, it's so powerful, man. But it's rare, and honestly, I think people need to know that. Like, you have to care at that level to really build something great.
100%.
You know, like we've been going through shit with our company lately. We're trying to make our systems, our processes, our leadership team so much better for our clients because we care so much that it's honestly caused some issues. But every single person in here cares so much. They're like pulling me in, dude, I'm losing sleep last night. I got up at midnight and I had an email that was like someone got slipped through the cracks, and they're just like, they're stressed out about it too. But we've built a team around us that cares so much because we care so much. Right. And that's what you've done too with your 100%. Business, bro. And that's like,
and every one of my employees care, just like yours. Yeah. It's an addiction.
Yeah,
you know?
Dude. When you can build a team around you, you can't build a team around you that cares so much if you don't care so much. You know, and as unhealthy as it sounds, if it cares so much it makes you sick, there's a lot of positive in that as well.
Well, my takeaway from it was, thank God that vibration was happening.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it too.
That it irked you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And again, we've talked about this previous on podcasts and stuff. Like, people don't understand whatever that little thing is, that little irk or that little struggle or whatever they're going through that's causing them to maybe feel stressed or ill or irk them. All that's trying to do is probably lead you somewhere else. You maybe just don't know where it's at, where it's going to lead you yet, right?
Right.
The end answer doesn't show itself while you're going through the problem, but you had that issue, you were stressed, you were irked, you go over here to this RTA thing, then you get challenged to say, you know, it seems like after that situation, there was a slow domino effect of even coming out better.
It gets better. You ready for this? I met Monica, Mother Trucker, at a round table at RTA, at a lunch table. We stayed connected, and then I also met up with her at MDM.
Yeah.
And then she says, you need to join Apex.
Yeah.
And then look what happened. Dude, we're here.
Yeah.
And then now we're in our conference room.
Yep. I mean, and I joined Apex, in May?
Yeah.
No, 6 months later?
Yeah. We were in Cabo together.
Exactly.
You know?
Which was a badass time.
You know, here's the thing. You hear a lot of times, like, these groups, man, like, and they're powerful. I'm not discrediting them at all. But you hear people like, man, that group changed my life. Nah, dude.
It
that
did.
freaking experience of your vibration and making you sick finally got to a point where you were open to actually being a part of a group like that. And then you did the fucking work.
100%.
Right? And it's like, those groups are powerful and everybody should utilize them because they do. They expand our network. Like, we're here today.
Right.
You know, and it's so powerful.
And what I like about Justin is like, he don't fuck around when he buys into something.
Exactly.
Right? Like that. And I was saying that on the way home. It's like, dude, you seem like You're just open and coachable. Tell me what to do and how to. I'm like, here's my ego. Let's put it off to the side. I want to get better. I want to grow. I want self-improvement, business improvement. What's the next level? What's the legacy? You know, you're thinking different and thinking bigger, but you don't have this big ego with it. You're just like, tell me what to do and I'll do 75 hard. Then you continued to do it till you were successful.
And now the G code,
Right.
now the G code is being brought in from Ryan
Yep.
and everyone else, and you know, fixing to start kicking that off, and everything we're learning from that.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's just gonna be a continuation. I'm open and willing to listen to anything, and dude, my
And
future.
Crazy though,
Yeah.
because like you get in these groups though, bro, and it's like, first of all, you're the one changing your life by being there, right? And
You had
doing
to make
work.
the decision to
yeah,
invest
and get
and
to
be
the point
there,
where you're open
you
them,
know?
and that's what's so powerful about these dark times, right? About these redirection moments. But you get in there, and you start kicking ass, and you start meeting people, 7, 8, 9-figure business owners. They're all humble because they're all going through that shit. They're all there for the same reason most of the time. Every once in a while, there's some douchebag that's like, you know, he's in there for the wrong reasons, and they usually don't last.
Yeah, they're a couple months and gone. You know, 6 months gone. You know, with anything good comes there is going to be a bad apple.
A battle, but you know, that's what forced me to get this, dude.
Yeah.
This fuck your excuses tat. You know, like, so every morning.
But then again, like I just said, you're the type of guy that just buys all in.
Yeah.
Right? And you bought all into your business initially 22 years ago, and you're like, dude, there was no other option.
There is no other, right?
Because you were bought all the way in. You know, when you see something that you know that you like and something that benefits you, you don't half-ass it.
100%.
Right? Like you've got fuck your excuses tattooed on your arm.
But you know what I got at the
You
bottom
know?
though, right?
Oh, I
What's
actually
that
want to
one?
know what that is.
Yeah, what is
Y'all,
it?
y'all pass physics, guys?
Fuck
Nah.
no, dude.
Come on, man.
Bro,
This guy's got an engineer's
you-
brain, bro.
I know you can tinker with shit, bro. I
I could tear it apart and put it right back together in my
know.
sleep.
I can tear shit apart.
You just can't
And it
put
stops there. It stops
That's
there.
us, dude.
But if I tore it apart, somebody probably won't be able to put it back together because there'd be shit ripped in half and shot, hammered, you know.
Broken gears.
Oh
and
yeah,
sprockets.
that ain't my jam. Homie.
Chain.
Right. So yeah. So this little symbol here is a physics symbol, and be greater than average.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
So fuck your excuses. Be greater than average.
okay.
I like it.
Now,
Because
dude, now it comes full circle. It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I just thought you were a physics major.
no.
I thought you were the next Einstein or
Right,
something. You know,
right.
that I thought that was the equation for fuck your excuses.
No. It's
But pretty close.
Yeah. Be greater
Pretty
than average.
close.
Because none of us are average.
Yeah.
I don't want to be average. Average is boring, man.
Well,
You know.
there's enough of them.
Yeah.
So, it's crowded.
Right.
It's fucking really.
And so then
crowded.
that's that's why this lighthouse tat came into play, man. For all the shit that's been fucked up in my life and that's happened to me, I want to be that shining light that lighthouse emits, no matter what's thrown at it. You know, whether you got a hurricane, winds, waves, destroying the sand, the sediments, that light is still shining bright to those sailors and giving them guidance. And I want to be that guidance of a person that I can come from nothing. I come from nothing, and that I can build my empires and be humble as can be and still be that shining light to what everyone else is going through. You know,
your childhood, you got, it was just
it's normal.
scraping by pretty
Yeah,
much.
no, it was just normal, man.
You had
It was
the
middle.
basics.
Yeah, it was middle of the road. We weren't starving.
Yeah.
I don't have any crazy stories from childhood. We
Yeah.
were, just a normal
Normal family.
family.
Yeah.
Wanted us the best for us. Wanted us to go to college.
Didn't
And
have help though, exiting in terms of starting your business. Like, so you literally just worked in your parents' shop for a little bit, saved some money, and then you started like, okay, I'm gonna sign this $800 a month lease or whatever.
No,
right?
it was
Like,
all on my own.
Yeah.
My parents wanted me to go to college, which any good parent wants to. Wants your son to.
Right.
And so I actually took electrical engineering for 2 years to follow my dad's footsteps at the chemical
makes
plant.
sense, bro.
Dude,
Engineering.
and I could do it. Yeah, there you go. I did the work,
Yeah.
but I absolutely hated it
Yeah.
with a passion. I was like, this is fucking boring.
So good that you did it for as long as you did, though, right?
Right,
Like,
100%.
you got something from it.
And then so I switched over and I completed college for my parents' benefit. And I did
Parents' benefit.
for to make them happy,
Yeah,
quote unquote.
Yeah.
That happens
And
a lot.
it took me 6 years to get a 2-year associate's degree of business management.
that would have
I'd
been me.
still be going, bro.
And I did some odd jobs. I was substitute teacher taught, and I did some weird stuff through college making ends meet. But I was still building trucks in the garage.
Yeah.
And then after that, dude, I was like, dude, it's game on now.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this work.
That's cool.
Talk about your lifestyle the first maybe 2 or 3 years that you came into entrepreneurship and started your business. Were you raking it in pretty fat? Like, did you
Oh,
just
hell no.
have a good big name, like after a few months out of the parents' garage or first year or two out of there, and then all of a sudden, like, how has the growth been in terms of, year 1, year 2 versus year 10, 15, and 20, right?
Right. So, year 1 and 2 and 3 at a parent's garage was pretty steady, but it gave me enough opportunity to want to get that industrial building and pay some rent.
You started visioning something a little bigger, like, oh shit, this isn't just like odd and end side.
This isn't a
job.
hobby.
Like, I can turn this into an everyday thing.
Right. And so, one screw up I did, I was blowing too much money in my vehicles, man, because I had to have the biggest, baddest ride.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be selling these, so I bought a 2000 Excursion. This was in 2003. Dude, I had 20 inches of lift and 44-inch super swampers on it.
Yeah.
It was all white. It was a bad mamma jamma, but
Bossed up.
but it was just, I was putting all my money into those vehicles.
Yeah.
And I wasn't.
That was
holding-
your advertising almost, pretty much.
it
like,
was.
hey, look at me. Like,
Right.
we're a talking piece. Somebody comes up to you, like, dude, this
Right.
thing's a monster. Oh, well, that's what I do.
Exactly. So I never had enough money in the bank to look at putting land down payment down on building and everything else until a customer came to mind and he wanted to bankroll me and says, dude, I have a vision for you if you want to follow through, and let's sit you down and look at your numbers. And so I've had guidance throughout, when it's come necessary, from me getting off my tools to me helping me build that building 5 years ago, and I thank God for those guys every day, because they saw something in me that they wanted to pass on.
Yeah.
Through their entrepreneurships of their businesses.
Another huge benefit of being somebody that really is kind of all in and obsessed with the quality of what they put out, bro, is like that attracts a certain type of person as well. Like, we've talked about this in our other podcasts where, people come up with these great ideas, and that's great. Everyone has great ideas, but it's like, well, I need an investor now. It's like, nobody wants to invest in you when they don't see you actually investing into you.
Doing the work.
Like, you're not doing the work. You're not putting badass quality workout out. You're not going all in, putting all your savings into building your baby. That's when those type of opportunities come along, right? Is when you're like, dude, you're putting out this quality work. You're just like into your thing, right? And it matters to you. You care, and then someone sees something in you,
Right.
right? But sometimes that's all someone needs that wants to take their business to the next level, and to go out and get investor money is like, they don't know where to go, and it's like, well, you just haven't done anything yet to attract anybody that would actually want to invest in you.
Yeah, people want to help people who help themselves.
Yeah.
And on that side note, I've made both of these guys' trucks ride better than stock. My motto is at my shop is we're going to make a lifted truck ride better than stock.
Yeah.
And it can happen if the right procedures and parts are used.
Stuman said it.
Yeah.
He made a post about it.
Bro.
Yeah.
Saying,
That's why I
Oh,
sold
boy,
my
hooked
15
it up.
Dirt Max.
Right.
I went and got a little lift on it. I don't have like a giant lift. It was just like,
But somebody just probably threw it together.
something
It's a
throw a little
reputable
bit
shop.
bigger tires
I'll
on
give
it,
you, this
nicer
prime
looking.
example, this Turo Jeep I just rented for the weekend for inside investors. Dude, the guy probably spent 10 grand on the Jeep, but in my opinion, it drives like shit. It rides like shit. Somebody just threw it together and doesn't really care.
yeah.
And,
do you think you overanalyze it a little bit, though?
no,
You're
I don't.
You're like in that, and you're just like,
You still had fun in
I'm
it.
going to see how they,
We had a blast in it.
Yeah.
We'll post some of those pictures up and tag some of them, man. We got stuck in the mountains in Utah in the snow.
Yeah.
I mean,
You've never been jeeping in the snow.
no, I haven't. First time for everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, now you have.
Now I haven't. I got pictures to prove it
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
know?
So let me ask you this. Are you just like, all up on coaching and mentoring and groups, and like once you saw the power of, let's say, Arate, that's why you got interested in Apex, and therefore you got interested in the Insider Investors Club, where we were this last weekend together, like, because now it seems kind of like a theme of yours. Let's get around awesome people. Let's continue personal growth. Let's continue to network to see where this takes me.
110%. But also too, I'm also observing everything because I want to empower other shop owners in my industry, and I want to.
So you're over there just trying to be a sponge in every aspect to
Yes.
where you can impact people that have the same background as you, that haven't been exposed to
Correct.
this type of information.
Because
yet.
in my opinion, I feel that 95% of all truck shops, we're gonna call them truck accessories, off-road shops, they're all technician owned. At one point, they were a technician,
They were hands-on.
Then they just said, "Hey, I can make
not
money
a
at this."
business owner.
Not a business owner. And so after getting, I got my business evaluated 3 years ago, and I was like, "What's this thing
They're like $3.99, or we'll trade you straight across for a Happy Meal. It's up to you.
And so then, that coach took me on
Yeah.
under his wing and says, dude, you have to do this, this, this. And lo and behold, man, I'm debt free now. Like, it's wild how that works.
Yeah.
When you create a plan and you follow it.
Imagine that.
Wow.
It's
Incredible.
But also getting some outside, perspective sometimes too.
And like I said, seeking that advice from that individual to do that, and learning from that. So my goal now is I want to teach and coach other off-road shops and to make their businesses as successful as possible. To kind of follow my footsteps of Outlaw Offroad, what I've done for 22 years, where my fuck-ups have been, what I've learned, especially in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And now coming all into these other groups.
Yeah.
You're
being exposed to a lot. And at the end of the day, you paid X amount of money over here for this group, X amount of money for this group, X amount of money for this group. And now you have access to the information in 3 different groups, all stored in your dome piece, that you can now share with those individuals without them having to make as big of a commitment and travel as much as you've traveled and taken the time to learn the information that you've learned inside those groups. And so you can collapse what took you 22 years to build into now probably taking a shop owner from maybe 0 to hero in 1 to 2 years by getting rid of all the mistakes that you had to go through, right?
Yep.
And how valuable would that be? You can't really even put a price tag on something like that, expediting the process, because I bet you've made mistakes that cost you 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And that's just one mistake. What's the most expensive truck you ever built? Like a badass. Like,
So we built a SEMA truck.
okay.
It was for a good friend of mine. And that truck, he probably spent 100 and 125 into it. $1,000.
Yeah, on top of the truck.
On top of the truck. It is a 2001 Power Stroke, but we put a 2010 front clip on it, so it looks like a 2010 driving down the road. Custom paint job. So cool little story about SEMA, because SEMA's coming around the corner. I want to be there next week in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's a specialty equipment, aftermarket association trucks, any automotive related, period. Trucks, cars, hot rods, whatever. So they bring in about 10,000 vehicles up there,
Right.
all customized. And so we got stuck. This is back in 2011, so this is 10 years ago this truck was built, and it still looks new to this day. It sits in front of our shop every day. Clayton's generous enough to let us do that.
So use it for advertising.
Exactly. It's better than sitting in his
Well,
stop.
I already know it's Kitty Corner from the daycare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so we were pulling it in SEMA, and it got stuck. His power steering pump blew out.
Oh, shit.
And it literally got stuck in front of Ford Hall. This is so ironic, like in front of the front door of SEMA.
Yeah.
But it's posted up. It's sitting at an angle. You saw that on the video, that truck sitting on this ramp. So it sits on a 36-inch tall ramp, a Ford Super Duty, that much wheel travel. And we had to leave it there because we couldn't fix it. And the SEMA guys were pissed, that thing had to sit there. So Didnt got all the exposure that year. It was wild, man.
I love this truck. Start it up. Let's see it move.
Yeah,
You're like,
They can't.
No.
So they had to build their show facility around it a little bit. It was pretty wild, man.
You were the showpiece.
I was the show. Well, it was
You got a lot
Clayton's
of
truck, but
attention that year.
exactly. And people were freaking out, like, what year's that truck? The one-up off-road suspension underneath it, the Toyo tires and everything else,
See,
dude.
even negative situations turn out positive
Yep.
sometimes.
Yeah, you find the
It's just
positive,
up to
man.
you to make that happen.
Exactly.
Right?
Or in the way you view it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So up to the point of finding coaches and mentors, you were just winging it.
100%, man. Just winging it.
Just whatever came in the fucking door.
I never even read a book, bro, until 75 Hard.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, dude, we flat out admitted on the podcast, like, we weren't big book readers, dude. Like, I read one book in 9th grade called Avalanche, and I can't even locate it anymore because I wanted to show people, like, this is the book. This will actually is a page turner. Because I attempted to read, but nothing ever caught my interest except for one book.
Right.
Did you guys read The Outsiders in high school, though, with your with your class? I think, like, everyone read The Outsiders, right?
Is that the one where they do, like, dance and do knife fights?
The Greases and the Socias, right? It was, like, basically the preppies versus, like, the
I think
rebels.
I just saw videos or
There was,
something.
like, yeah.
I've had reading it where I wasn't into
I
it.
read The Great Gatsby. You remember that one?
I didn't read that
No,
one
didn't
either.
read
No.
that
And
one.
Mr. Bo Radley. What book is that? The Great... To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah,
Thank you,
they
ma'am.
read all those as a
Why
class.
the hell would you kill a monkey?
By the time we were reading those, we were
That's
ditching
rude.
school, though. So
But no, we just barely started reading, like, literally within the last couple years in terms of, like, trying to be intentional about it. But at the same time,
I was pretty intentional through therapy, and then I took a long break, and then I was like, I got to go back into that growth mode.
Yeah, well, sometimes when you're going through shit, you're maybe a little bit more willing to do the things that you weren't willing to do prior because you don't feel like anything's missing when you're young or a kid or, you know, whatever it is.
People always take action when their back's against the wall, you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
And then now, so after reading these books, I want to write my own book, man. I want to tell my own story.
Yeah.
You know, it's
comes full circle.
100%. And I want to coach, I want to teach everyone else my mistakes I made.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it up there, man. I think it's cool the road you're going down, and your space needs it, right?
Yeah,
like,
I feel so.
Dude,
I didn't feel there was anybody
in your space.
Right.
Yeah, you need
I
to.
think
You're
that
gonna,
there's-
because one, you have a great energy about you, but two, like, bro, you really do know your shit, and you've put out such great quality, and your operation that you built is like what is the word? A testament to that.
A testament.
Right? A testament.
Testament.
But dude, it really is. Like when we talk about your operation, your showroom, the people running you don't got to be there to put out quality work anymore, right? But people like don't know how to build businesses that way because, like you said, they're just technicians, and then there's like they're stuck in the business, and they can never get anyone to come in and do the quality they do because they can't take the time. But you've done that, so you need to be in the space, like really showing people, become that influencer of that space,
and teach those guys, you know, how to shrink it down from 80 hours a week to 40 hours a week where they can enjoy their families. Because their whole reason they got into entrepreneurship was to get away from the 9 to 5.
Exactly.
You know, but these shop owners are spending more time away from their families and working stupid hours, 70, 80 hours a week.
40 to 80.
Yeah. So where's the benefit in that?
But
Where's the
one,
freedom?
you're relatable. You know, they're going to be able to relate to you and all the experiences that you have. Secondly, you know, it's not like you lack passion for it. Like even when you just talk about, you know,
important.
it's just,
So
it just
important.
kind of comes out, right? It's an industry that you love and that you care about. Maybe you don't want to be underneath the vehicle for the rest of your life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to be connected to the industry and the type of good people that are in the industry that you've come to know and like, right?
So I just bought a 21 Ford Raptor.
Yeah.
And Ford changed the suspension. It's called Generation 3. Ford added rear coil springs to this thing. I was the first one to jump these things.
Yeah.
And
Right after, it landed. It did fine. But I have pictures of going all over Instagram, all over the internet, man. I caught 3 foot of air in this brand new truck. Right after our Flying Friday, guys. I drove down to Austin and I hit the dirt
you
track.
spend 6 figures on a truck.
I
and
saw
you-
you
No,
get
it
in
wasn't-
that truck as we were leaving too. He went down and jumped that shit.
Yeah, I went and jumped that sucker, man. I was
I
making
saw
a
the
point.
photo.
He was
Yeah.
all excited too. He's like, I got this new truck, right? And
Plus,
he
we got
went and jumped it.
But Thomas and I got a little TRX battle going on. You know, there's a lot of
Between
TR
the Raptor and the TRX.
They were
Yeah.
parked
There's a lot of
literally
all up in
front
each
of
other. And,
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so I want to try the suspension out. Ford made that truck for a reason. They built it up. It is an off-road vehicle, and I went and used that damn thing. And
you were the test dummy to confirm
yeah,
that they built it right.
100%.
And
the
it
truck,
works.
yeah, I drove it home. I drove it 2.5 hours home from there, you know, with no problems. The truck didn't
No
break.
speed wobbles or
Nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. 37-inch tires, you know, caught 3 foot of air, landed. Yeah, squished the tires up in the fenders. Might have had a little fender rubbage from squishing.
Well,
But,
yeah.
you know, but hey, it landed, and looking forward to getting some more video footage of this thing moving on. And, you know, I want to be involved in the industry and
Make an impact.
exactly.
What if it didn't handle it, dude? What would you have done? Just rent a car and go
I would have got a
leave it there?
wrecker and just got it back to the shop and fixed it.
Yeah.
Like whatever Ford messed up, but Ford didn't mess anything up on that truck,
Yeah.
bro.
Dude, I've been hearing Ford's stuff's been just getting better and better this whole last decade. Like, I mean, you know, there's this weird Chevy Ford battle all these years, right? I grew up a Chevy family. Like my dad and his friends were all Chevy dudes, and Fords were pieces of crap, right? And it's vice versa on the other side. But
Mine was vice versa. It was
I was
Ford
always
and
buying
Chevys were
Duramaxes
shitty.
and shit because I was
Good-
programmed
they're
to be a
good
Chevy
trucks.
guy, and they were phenomenal. But it's like the stuff that I see them putting out this year, I'm not loyal to none of them now.
Right.
Like, dude, if it's quality, it's freaking badass, and it looks
I
great.
do feel that GM is lacking though, man. So I feel like Ram has the interior going, which is phenomenal. Ford has the truck built, the suspension. Now they're catching up with the interior, but GM is just they're just
they were like
lagging
known for their
behind.
tranny there, that Allison transmission.
Yeah,
for
the
a
Allison was
while.
badass. You know,
Yeah. But that's that
that's
was
it.
That was
Their
8 years ago.
interiors in those new trucks, man, are nothing. But this new Raptor, 13-inch.
Talking shit on my GMC parked out front.
Yeah.
That big black truck.
That government bailout money they used to build that.
Well, yeah, it was my stimulus money. I blew it on the Denali, dude. You know, I'm waiting for more because there's a payment due on that motherfucker coming up. So
But
hopefully
you know, Ford never took a bailout. You know, back in the day,
Yeah.
when GM took all the money. Ford never took a bailout on that thing, man.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought they did.
Not to my knowledge. I might be wrong. I'm not saying I'm never right. You know, Hey,
There could have been some backdoor bailouts. Who knows?
Yeah,
It's
it wasn't
got-
public.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And now it's a huge problem with the computer chips. All these new manufacturers
I
can't,
know.
and the prices are just going through the roof. We're having to pay
Yeah.
over sticker for these trucks, which is
Bro, it's
insane.
ridiculous. I bought a
Are
Tesla
you?
Yeah.
just
No,
to
he
flip
did.
it.
Yeah.
You really?
Well, I bought it because, dude, so I wrote my book, right?
Yeah.
Talking about writing books. I literally bought a Tesla just to have self-driving so I could write my book when I go to Salt Lake or Vegas or some shit on the highway. Legit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I wrote my book on my phone.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm doing the editing on my desktop though because it didn't work for
That's a
editing.
little awkward driving
Yeah,
and
I'm like, damn, I
typing.
have a regular keyboard. But anyway, but now the Tesla was so backed up. It's been a year since I ordered it. I'm finally just got notification last night. They're like, hey, it's in production finally.
So, they're being built
So
in.
I'm just gonna flip it, bro.
I don't blame you.
They're like, because I'm locked in at like 115 G's. I'm gonna go put it up for 140 or 50.
There you go. I'd do it too. Supposedly, I can take this Raptor and turn and burn too and make 10 or
yeah.
15 on it. They're just not out there.
Are you guys running into shortages and issues in terms
Yes.
of parts and stuff?
Yes, we're having
right
to
now,
adapt.
too?
You know, I have a specific brands that I want to use.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bilstein shocks, BDS suspensions, Toyo tires, it's production across the board, man.
Yeah.
So we're having to adapt and swing. But you know what's crazy? Our numbers are still up 20% after COVID.
Really?
Even though we're having to adapt and we're having supply chain issues.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if we could actually get the parts, what we could do?
Oh, dude, yeah.
It'd be
crazy.
Be insane. We'd be at 30, 40, 50%.
So
You know?
what do you mean adapt? Meaning you just go outside of what your normal
Maybe
orders would be?
Maybe
You're
switch
like,
brands.
hey, yeah.
Maybe
exactly.
switch brands, but like use this other brand, but still try to find a Bilstein shock to fit it.
Right.
Gotcha.
You know, till it fits my ride quality specs.
But does that make it harder for you that now you're just
Yes,
scoping everything out? Like, dude, can you really get this to me in the time frame that you say? Because I'm trying to get the truck out
Yeah.
by this time. Like,
So
it creates
when
a
that
new headache.
when that customer comes in, we got like 10 screens open up from all our distributors. Dude, if it's not available, I'll tell you, hey, it's not available. But if it is, do you want that now? Let's order that now. Boom, boom, boom. So I don't ever sell something on the pretense that I'm getting it coming in.
Have you had
you
to
know.
turn customers away because of things that you can't get in yet?
Not necessarily. We've just had to change a lot of orders.
Gotcha.
And change their whole package of what they want to do, unless they want to wait. You know, sometimes the
If
waiting
they're
time.
dead set on a certain
Right.
brand.
You know,
or
whether it
the
takes,
sort
and
of-
we do get, you know, certain wheels, certain lift kits are saying 16 weeks. If that customer's willing to wait 16 weeks, we'll
They
wait.
do, bro. My wife wanted a new couch. We waited 12 weeks just for a new couch.
Wow.
What else? I mean,
What else are you going to do?
yeah, what is he gonna do?
I still got fucking pants that I ordered 2 months ago that's still on the way.
Yeah.
And it's bothering me.
Shit's in a container,
Wow.
bro. Right on the
Yeah,
coast.
it's on
Well,
that,
I
it's on
don't-
that
I don't-
party ship cruise out there on the
Yeah, I
coast of
know.
California.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking one of them. You know, they keep sending me messages though, like emails. Oh, stuck in customs, or it's da 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 da, or
That's
whatever.
crazy.
Like literally 4 weeks after I ordered it, that like it was supposed to be quick arrival because it's starting to turn fall. I'm like, yo, I need to get some. I don't buy clothes much, but then now this is my experience.
Yeah, and so
I
like
still don't have 'em.
but you know what's even crazy? You know, talk about customs and stuff, but like even Toyo tires can. It's not a. I talked to one of the manufacturers, one of the head top guys. They're built in Atlanta, Georgia. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize Toyo tires are built in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And they can't have enough employees to do the 24-hour production run.
Oh, all that free money.
Yes.
All that free money's hurting.
So
them.
that has
Hurting that
slowed the whole
industry, too.
production assembly line of the tires coming out. It's
Stimulus
not-
money didn't stimulate the businesses
It
because
did
now the
not.
businesses don't have employees. It
And I don't have
stimulated-
tires.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't sell tires. So I got another bragging point about that, man. So Toyo tires, I know y'all have heard of Toyo. 2 years ago, because of connections, I met one of the lead designers, and he invited me and 8 other shops across the nation to come tour the facility. Now this is Japanese owned, so like no one's allowed to come in this facility. We had no cell phone cameras. We had to put them in a safe deposit box.
Oh, wow.
Dude, and we toured the whole facility and watch how that tire's made. No human hand touches that tire whatsoever.
Really?
Complete robots. It's
damn.
mind blowing.
Damn.
And then we also got to spec out the new Toyo AT3, and
So how the fuck are they having human issues then in terms
because
of
that's whoever feeds that material into those machines.
So it's like there's some humans involved, but like once all the materials in and all that,
It's the room for
then
error is what they're after.
Gotcha.
You know, when you're laying the rubber
Yeah.
down, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna get all technical because I don't even know.
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago, and I paid attention, but I didn't. You know, but anyways, so yeah, there's no room for human error in making that tire.
Gotcha.
You know, being out of balance, too much rubber on this side, too much was fed into this.
So
melted.
humans playing a role. But
Right,
The
whether
machines
it's the
are doing a lot
computers
of
or what
the-
have you.
Right.
So yeah, we got invited to come to the facility, and that was very establishing and proud moment of mine, man. You know, to be invited in that.
Get that invite,
Then we
yeah.
had input on the Toyo AT3 tire. So I helped design that tire, man.
Yeah.
You should have a signature.
That's so cool.
piece.
I should.
Where's the
Yeah.
Justin piece, baby?
Yeah.
You know,
Get a
the
hustle
signature
tire.
Pretty boy
The
tire.
hustle
Pretty boy
Toyo.
tire.
There you go.
Just not meant for mud or off-roading
Or snow to get stuck in the mountains.
This is one that you park out
There you
front
go.
Yeah.
to let the chicks know that you do it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how damn important leadership is, man? Like,
It
think
is.
about it, bro. Like our whole country right now, this whole move of just like handing out money, the whole way this pandemic's been handled, and it's like look at what it's done to everything, man. It's just like piss poor leadership.
But at the same time, you can also relate it to your story.
yeah,
You know, having no leaders, you were just winging it.
right.
And then when you started getting leadership and you started getting guidance, that's when you
took off.
started to accelerate in life and in business, mentally, emotionally, financially. Everything by default starts getting better because you started focusing on you. Right. And
But you've always been a good self leader. You know what I mean? And I really think that people need to realize that, dude. Like, you've got to be a good self leader to become an external leader, and like the fact that like you were so like, man, quality was so important to you, and like, you were willing to do the work on your
had
own
a
is
standard.
the reason that you,
Yeah.
you had exactly. That's a great word
he
for
had
it.
a standard.
Yeah. It's badass.
And I think that's probably the biggest issue that most people have is if you don't have a standard, what are you living up to?
Right.
Then you kind of just get blown with the wind, right? Like you had a standard that you wanted everybody, 100% of people to be happy. So it wasn't that difficult to know what your target is, right? And what you need to do to hit your target. But if you don't have a standard, what's going to happen?
Right.
Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and you're just going to blame it on the world. Things are happening to you. No, you just don't have a standard. When you have a standard, that's your guideline. Like somebody has a standard that every morning they get up and they do X, whatever their thing is, whether it's meditate for an hour. Homeboy, Dave on the podcast previous to this one, when we were there, I don't remember if he shared it on the podcast, but he said every single morning he's up at 4 and he meditates for a minimum of an hour.
Wow.
That's a standard that he's created for himself that he does not fall off of, right? And I think most individuals, even listening to this, even I can do better, in terms of this area, in terms of expanding it, not just for fitness or, what's my standard for reading? We talked about not really being readers, and we get put in a dark spot, and then that's when we want to pull ourselves out. We start listening to podcasts again or start reading again. But what's the daily standard? And when we create that standard, when we create that non-negotiable thing that we're going to do, that's ultimately going to put people in a situation where they're going to have a lot less lows, a lot less questions on what the next day is going to look like because you've already pretty much mapped it out based upon the standard that you hold for yourself.
And when you do that, even leadership at the top that affects our entire country, Toyo can't get people, we're struggling to get people. Yeah. We find ways to do it because we're self-fucking leaders, and now we're external leaders. We figure out ways, we adapt, we do these things to continue to keep our businesses rolling, man. Like, as important as leadership is at the very top, if you're a good self-leader and you're good at the leadership of the people around you, we're going to just keep this bitch rolling, you know?
Mm-hmm. You talk about rituals.
Yeah. Rituals, habits, rituals that you are just a man or woman of your habits and your rituals.
I go to y'all's Instagram every day, and I see what y'all post, dude.
Oh, nice.
I'm serious. Yeah. I don't know who read the message first when I first reached out to y'all.
Yeah.
But, dude, y'all's page, it resonates. Every post you make is so powerful and deep.
Yeah.
For the entrepreneur, small business owner, dude, it resonates hard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And man, I appreciate that because that's how we all got connected.
Yeah.
You know, and
exactly.
I didn't put y'all on my vision board, but mentally it's on my vision board to get on this podcast, and look what happened. Yeah. You know,
it's awesome.
Well, I think people just miss how important it is to take the initial step. Take that one step in the right direction, whatever that, and in your case, that one step in the right direction was reaching out and, maybe joining a group.
Right.
That led to this, that led to that. Like the dominoes just start falling based upon you starting to take action and wanting to be better. And the universe is like, okay, holy shit, he really is committing and wanting to be better. He's taking action. Let's put this person in front of him and see what he does with it. Right. Oh, wow. He took full advantage of that opportunity, became friends with that individual. Now he's going to be joining that, And it just seems as though that ever since you really started taking action in a different direction than what your initial zone of genius was, which was working on shit, right? That was your first step outside of just being the guy with the tools that can fix shit, right?
Right.
And when you started taking action outside of what was typical or normal for you, it seems as though there's just more more good shit happening to you.
But I think anybody can relate to that, even if it's like a simple walk.
Yeah.
Why can't, just to get moving?
Yeah.
I think people don't put enough emphasis on how much one step in the right direction will turn into 2, and then 3, and then 4, and that snowball effect will happen. And you're literally living proof over the last 2 or 3 years. You said, you've been on this huge growth pattern, but it all started with one thing.
Right.
Just taking that one step and committing to yourself that I want to be better. And then you actually started taking action towards joining a group or surrounding yourself with individuals that also wanted to be better. And you're taking advantage of every aspect of that you can, and you're soaking it in, and you're doing everything that you should be doing. You're going to continue to be put in the right rooms, whether it's a podcast, whether it's speaking on stage, whether it's helping coach or mentor, other individuals that want to do what you do, right?
Yeah, the road you're about to go down is going to be the same impact that it's going to be for the people it's meant to be for.
Yeah,
right.
And I was telling my wife actually not too long ago, and I told Trevor on the way home, I was like, bro, it's funny because I'm just finally realizing, because the vision changes, right? Like, we had this vision to create this real business owners to help other business owners at all different levels, but it's like now it's changing, and it's like hitting me, and especially after talking to Dave, where he's like, bro, leaders are like sometimes chosen, whether you like it or not.
We had this conversation.
Like, we're meant, bro. Like the combination of him and I are meant to go do something great. Your mission that you're about to go down is meant to go help the right people for your space and your industry and things that you're going to do. And so it's super cool to see the road that you're going down.
I can't wait, dude, for year 1, 5, 10, after all this, man.
Yeah.
Dude, we're going to be just
We're
impacting so many lives.
Me and Pablo doing some other stuff.
Yeah. We're going to be impacting lives,
Yeah,
though, man. And how many lives below us are going to be impacted?
Yeah.
Because I know we talked about it this past weekend in Utah, that how many business owners reach out to you on the daily, man, that want coaching and help. Let's figure that out, man.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing it.
No, that's the next step for us. That's why we've been putting leaders in place and things like that. But again, with any change inside your business, there's unforeseen. You change this, then this unforeseen thing breaks, or then this happens, or right when you get something structured, you lose a key player, or an employee, or whatever it is. There's any time that there's change in a business, it's not just going to be change and nothing happens. It's almost like flipping that switch, and you're just like, what's going to happen here?
Are all the lights going to turn on? There's going to be a spark out of that one.
Yeah, it's like walking into a 1960s and seeing what works, what doesn't, just testing shit. But, that's where we're at right now. And it's always fun. We've talked about this early on the podcast was, making money fills up your bank account, but impacting other people fills up your soul, right? And so it just feels good to make an impact and know that other people are better off for information that you've given them, or a phone call that you've given them, or just a simple message or a post like you were talking about, like my daily ritual. I go check out your guys' posts. So sorry for the days that when we don't post. Bro.
It's all good, man.
I'll remember.
I'll
remember that.
Drop down and give me 15.
Yeah,
let it slide.
So, what's one major piece of advice that you would give to any 1 to 5 year entrepreneur that may be facing some struggles currently at this point? Because I have a feeling that if there's a time that somebody's going to face struggles in the 1 to 5 year period, it's probably right now, with maybe shortages on things that they can get access to, shortages on employees or
parts, supplies,
whatever.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of industries are facing that. Dude.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
We're facing it with employees, and
don't give up.
Yeah,
just adapt, figure it out, reach out to someone that's doing better than you, someone that's doing it better than you, and ask them questions. Ask them how they're figuring it out.
And how is that?
Isn't it crazy
how has that served you?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've like after that Toyo thing, when we went to Toyo, dude, these other shops are, in my opinion, they're bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I've reached out to them, and I'm become friends with these guys, these owners, and we've bounced ideas off each other.
Yeah.
And helped each other out. Different questions. I got a question about a truck that I can't figure out. I'll reach out to him. Hey, what did you do on this?
Have you ever seen this?
Yeah, this Toyota Tacoma. What would you do on this situation? Right.
Yeah.
So, just building your network
Yeah.
of people to throw back onto, man.
Isn't it crazy how willing people are to share if you're willing to put
Yeah.
yourself out there?
100%,
You know what I
man.
mean? Like, people like to help other people, even if it's like, well, technically he's a competitor, but maybe we can be an alliance.
Yeah.
Right.
You
I
know?
want everyone to succeed in life, man. There's enough out there for
I
everyone.
mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are like, fuck them all, you know.
Right.
You
Sure,
know, I want to
yeah.
stomp on them, whatever. But
That's greed, man.
yeah,
That's a
it's-
sin.
But
You
dude,
know-
it's your bad if you reach out to somebody that's like that, and then you're afraid now to go reach out to somebody else.
Yeah, they're
right?
not all like that.
Like this
No.
dude can reach out to Toyo and talk to some big execs over there, and they can bounce ideas off each other, you know. But maybe whatever, maybe some other tire brand, Michelin, wasn't willing to do that. Oh well, you know.
Right.
But if you let that shut you down, then you ain't cut out for this shit.
Right.
You know. So I love that, dude. Don't give up. Be committed.
Adapt and pivot, man.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
I love it.
It's the
I would
best
say the two
advice.
things that we've seen you do is, one, not give up. Two, surround yourself with the right people, having the right network, like you said. And then three, being very coachable, taking action, right? Because those are three things that I see in you based upon the short time that we've known each other over the last few months, and, you know, getting to know you better
Yeah.
over this last weekend, spending time in Salt Lake together, and then even now, right?
Right.
Was that you have a no quit attitude. You're down and open to surrounding yourself with new people, even though that can be nerve-wracking in itself, right? Putting yourself in new environments, like, what am I doing here? You know, like, everybody feels that. 100%.
Even in Cabo, I mean, it was an example. I mean,
You felt that in Cabo,
Yeah.
going into Cabo?
like, what am I doing here? Do I really
Kale's a
believe-
little bit of my security blanket. Like, we roll deep, son. You know, there's both of us. So it's like, fuck, dude, if they all hate us, at least, you know, we're here together.
Yeah, we'll go on
You
a walk
know?
on the beach.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
Hold
well,
hands
yeah.
and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close eyes, though.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, of
you know,
course.
I'll imagine my
Hey,
wife.
we did
and
get
I could be-
COVID together.
Yeah, we did.
Because we do. I mean, we're together a lot.
Yeah,
But,
right.
I mean, we'll go
Get
do
COVID
shit on
together.
our own too, right? You can't always have a companion all the time, right? But did we do so much together? It's like we shared hotel rooms. You know, when we got to, it was all kinds of shit, bro. Travel together.
Sometimes
but
we
even
share a
got
malt
COVID
shake.
together, bro.
Hey,
You know, 2 straws.
can I join? Can you put a third in there?
Hey, we're always open. We only order medium, so we can
There's
order
only one
large
thing better
now.
than the
Yeah, there we
Doble,
go.
bro. It's a
You know,
trifecta.
so-
you know?
No, man. How do people connect with you if they want to reach out? If maybe they're, because we do have a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of individuals that are in the trades type business, right?
Right.
That do follow us, do listen to the account, and so. How would an individual reach out to you if they have a question? Or
Yeah, sure, man. I'm open. I'll answer any question. I'm open to it all. I'm an open book. So Instagram, my personal Instagram.
Any question?
Any question, bro. Life, dude. You can. I'll
Live questions.
what are the questions?
Yeah, I said anything.
Anything, man.
Anything.
I'm an open book.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I really am, man.
I'm
I
gonna
want to be
slide
transparent.
into your DM myself.
Slide
I'm gonna
in.
Start throwing some questions
Slide-
at you. Some
slide in.
curveballs, bro.
No, my personal Instagram is JSCHOENER. It's pronounced Schoener.
Again,
Uh,
we'll
yeah.
put that in the show notes.
Pretty
Yep,
boy.
yep.
So that
Why
you don't
haven't
have to pull over.
What's your brand gonna be, bro? For
I haven't
as
quite
you come
figured that
into
out
the
yet.
space?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But we haven't got there yet. But it's coming.
Pretty boy.
Pretty boy off road. But no, so my Justin Schoener on Facebook. Outlaw Offroad of Texas is my company name.
Do you guys have a Facebook page
Yeah.
on that?
Yep, we got about 14,000 followers on Facebook on there.
Okay.
About 5,000 on Instagram. Outlaw Offroad of Texas. Got a little bit of YouTube going on, same thing, and working on some TikTok stuff and
Nice.
trying to trend around.
Did we
don't
tell
see-
him why we say pretty boy? It's your name.
So
I don't know if we explained it. Did we explain it?
I don't think we
okay.
So
explained it
my
on the
German
Same pretty boy,
teacher, my
but-
German teacher in high school, I took German class.
You know, have you actually fact checked this? Like,
Yes, I have.
Or let Facebook.
I've had
fact check
to
it?
fact check it. Talking to
I'm gonna Facebook can fact check. For you.
man, I had to fact check it for some females. They didn't believe me, so you
It's
know,
like, look, baby girl,
like,
it is what it is.
exactly. So yeah, my German teacher in high school, he was blown away at my last name because he spent so many years in Germany.
Yeah.
And he said, let me break this down for you. And he said, Schoen, SCHOEN, means pretty, and ER means boy/man.
Yeah.
So pretty boy.
Now you're a pretty man, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different. You've matured past the boy.
But we're gonna look even prettier sharing that
Yeah.
malt shake together.
Hell
I
yeah,
could just
we will.
see. I can just see your next Instagram. It'll be like pretty boy off road.
Yeah, something
sure.
crazy.
There you go.
Never
Pretty
know.
boy coaching.
Pretty boy
baby,
coaching.
you know? There you go.
Right? Yeah.
If your account doesn't look so pretty, hire pretty boy. Boy.
We did get some
You
good
know?
photos in the mountains. They look pretty.
Yeah,
I
there
got
you
that,
go.
that
There you
Jeep
go.
posted up,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
stuck, and
Yeah.
you know. So
Nah,
Made the
guys-
Jeep look good, dude.
Yeah, you did look
Thank you.
good. Justin's a good dude. You know, if you do reach out to him, he'll answer your questions.
Yeah.
He'll take the time with you. And I think more of you listeners need to actually take advantage of some of the people that we bring on the show.
Yeah.
You know, individuals literally just at that last event, Arnold, you know how Tony said he reached out to me based upon the Real Business Owners podcast, and now Tony's coaching Arnold and then flew him out to Utah and aren't at zero expense to Arnold just to kind of help facilitate the event. But that's putting this guy now in a situation with rooms like us that we're in, that we pay good money to be in, right? And so this kid is just now being coached by, and Tony even said during the event, I'm going to coach on. That was based upon Tony being on our podcast and we saying, what's your handle? How do people reach out to you if they have questions? Young boy did it.
Right. He did the work.
And now Tony's tucking under his wing, and he's been in these new environments that he would have never, ever been in had he had not reached out to Tony by simply just dropping his handle on our podcast. And so I think sometimes, hey, if you want to reach out, have questions, I don't think people understand the power in some of the individuals that we do bring on the podcast. It might just sound like, hey, yeah, we're wanting to give you good information, but we're also giving you access to people that are in our network that we pay to surround ourselves with. And so, you know, take full advantage of it. You know, all the individuals that have been on our show are all great, amazing people. You know, individuals maybe like Clever Investor won't respond to a DM. You know, he's got 1.2 million or something like that. But you know,
Y'all reached out. Y'all responded to mine.
Yeah.
So hey,
we
all started.
That's a big priority for us. So, guys, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Reach out to Justin if you have questions. Other than that, take care, kick ass.
Yeah.
Have a
And
good
thank
day.
y'all for doing everything y'all do, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
thank
we
you, bro.
appreciate
Glad
you coming
came
out.
down.
Dude,
Hell yeah, brother.
That's been a good one. So we appreciate it. Take care, guys.